truth table of AND operation. Okay, so write the truth table of AND operation. So we have an operand A and we have an operand B. So A and B. Okay. So now, so if the operand A is false and operand B is also false, the output is false. Now the operand A is false and operand B is false, and output is, if the operand A is true and operand B is false, output is, if operand A and B both are true, the output is true. Now let's evaluate this thing from left to right. Okay. So in AND operation, if I encounter a first falsy value, okay, so if any one operand is false, so the output of AND operation is false. Okay, right? So if I encounter a first falsy value, so even the second operand is also a true or a false, it doesn't alter the output, right? So it doesn't alter the outputs, because so if encounter any one is true in AND operation, the output is always true. So do you really need to check the second one? If it is the first condition, if I encounter any false value in the first place only, no, it's not at all required. It doesn't alter the output, so it can directly short circuiting to the 0. Understood? So again, so if I encounter a first falsy value, so of course the same thing. So the second is also true, but I'm not going to check the second condition. Why? So what is the point? Because in AND operation, anyone is false, the output is false. See? So even if you have a second operand is a true, so it directly short circuited to false. No need to check the second one. Okay? Next, if I encounter a first truthy value, so if you have another condition, definitely we need to check, because so if the second operand is true, then output is true. If the second operand is false, so the output is a false. Means we have a dependency. We have a dependency. We need to definitely check. If I encounter first truthy value in AND operation, we can't. So unlike in OR operation, so we can't able to decide it. So definitely we need to check the second condition also. So now it moves, it will check. So second one is false, so my pointer will stop here. So this is the result I'm going to get. Understood? So in the AND operation, so if I encounter first truthy value, definitely we need to check. Okay, so I have checked. So this is also a truthy, second operand is also truthy. Now tell me, so which one true is getting here? The first one or second one? Second one. Why? So this is the last value I have checked, right? So this is the reason it's going to tell me. Yeah. Understood. This going to show up. Fine. Let's check these things. I want to comment all these things. Now 0 and Peter. Output is 0, because it start evaluated from the left. Okay, it start evaluated from the left. So if I encounter a first falsy value, so we no need to check the second one, because I already encountered one falsy value. So even the second one is truthy or falsy, it doesn't alter the output, because output is always a false. If I encountered anyone is a false in AND operation, output is false. Okay, so that's the reason. So in AND short circuiting, So if I encounter first false value, it never ever checks the second one because it's going to short it here only. Understood? Next, is 7 is a truth or false? Now tell me what is the output? Peter. See, when I start evaluating from the left, so I encounter a first truth value. Okay, so even the condition is true. So if you have a second condition, so the output may alter because based on so second value only we are going to get the value of the AND operation, right? So definitely we need to check the second one. So second is also a truthy, both are true and true. So output is true. Okay, but what is the last value I've checked? So the second value, right? So this last value I've checked. Okay, so this is the reason I'm getting beta. Okay, now tell me. And when what is the output? Well, okay. See, it start evaluating from the left. So I encounter first truthy value, no issue. So based on this one, I can't able to decide. So next, I'll check the second one also. So it's also true. Okay. So I can't able to decide. So next, I have a first false value. So if I encounter first false value in AND operation, so the operation is going to stop. It's going to short circuit and it's going to return null. Understood? So no matter. So the last value is also true or false, it no matter. Okay? So it's true, but it's still not going to consideration. Okay, so where we going exactly practically I'm using here. Okay, sometimes you're going to get the data from the backend. Sometimes every time you're going to get data from the backend only. So the backend people might do some mistakes. Okay, or else they can't able to put in for every field they can't able to put in validation message like validation flags. Okay, is it contains or not? First, so what I'm trying to do, see, I'm gonna copy this one. Okay, I have an object, car object. Okay, so this is the just thing, this is the data which is coming from the backend. Okay, the backend people sending me data. Okay, first here observe, I want to print make. I want to print make. So who is the maker of the car? Okay, but whatever the data they are sending, so it doesn't contains a property called make. Okay, now see observe. So just think, yes, we have a get in, we are going to get this data from the backend. So that backend data have some missing data. Okay, we have some, they have missed some data. So on the time, see observe. So basically I'm trying to print a message. Okay, the car brand the car brand is dollars car dot make. Now tell me, is it object contains make property? Is the car object contains make property? No. If it is doesn't contains, so what is the result? Okay, the car brand is undefined. So if you print this in the DOM, so to the user, what does it thinks? So it is not a good user experience, right? So car brand is undefined. What makes the sense? So we should avoid such type of mistakes. Now tell me how to avoid such type of mistakes. It's practical usage. Yes, good. First, we need to check is the make exist or not. Before printing this message, we need to check is it keys the make is exist or not inside the car object. So how to check? Control X. I'll put an if block. If First, I'll check car dot make exist. Is it properties really exist? Okay, if it is exist, then only print this message. Understood? You see, if it is doesn't exist, just print an error message. No data found. Understood? So this is an error message. See, inside my score object, is it make property exist or not? No, not exist, right? So this is the reason I'm providing a no data found error message. Okay, so it's an optional, else is optional. So just think. So if the property exists, then only I'm going to print it. If the property doesn't exist, I'm not going to print it, because car brand is undefined, is doesn't make any good user experience, right? So that's the reason. So it's the old way. Earlier days we are using this one. So many developers still using the same way. Okay, but after introducing in 2020 this short circuiting, so we are going to make these changes. It's an old way. So the new approach. First, I will check if the car dot make exist. If it is exist, and operation. Okay, I will print this message. That's it. First, it will check what is car dot make. Undefined. Car dot make is undefined. Okay, since it is undefined, so in AND operation, I encounter first falsy value. So do I really need to check the second one? No. Okay, because the output is doesn't alter. It's going to stop it here only. It's not going to print this message. Understood? So it's going to stop it because I found a falsy value. I'm stop it here only. I'm short circuiting. Okay, so that's the reason I can avoid printing this message, wrong message. Okay, if it is exist, if it is exist, then it's going to print it. Understood? Property exists, then only it's going to print it. Any doubts? The practical usage. Okay, so in so many tasks also, we need to work with this short circuit. In so many tasks also. So it really helps to write a better code. Okay. Any doubt? Okay. Next, we're gonna see about another operator called Nalich-Kuliasik. So it's been introduced in after the introduction of the short circuiting. So as of 2020, I think so. Nalich Kuliasik. So what is this Nalich-Kuliasik? According to the Nalich-Kuliasik, so what are the falsy values we have? Okay, so 0, empty string, undefined, null, and nan. So these are the 5 truth values in JavaScript. Apart these things, so all are, so basically so the falsy values, right? Sorry. So they are falsy values. Apart from all are true. Okay. So first, before explaining this knowledge coercing, I will explain a usage. So here there is one issue. What is the issue? So basically, I am using the same output. Yes, I'll use this. So we have a bug here. Okay, now when it comes to here, so is that car dot, so inside the car object we have kilometers. Yes, we have a kilometers, but it's an 0. 0, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. 0 is also a value, right? But in JavaScript it returns an false value. So that's the reason. So it encounters a first false value in our operation. So it will check the second one. If the second one is true, it's going to assign the value 10 to the distance variable. Understood? But I should not do these things. If the car dot kilometers doesn't exist, in that case only I can able to assign car dot kilometers. So car distance is equal to 10 because the property doesn't exist. But in this case, the property exists, but it's a zero value. But I want to print here zero. They exist. I want to print its actual value, not the second condition value. Okay, how do you do these things? It's not possible using short circuiting NOR operation because zero considered as an falsy value. Okay, how to overcome this thing? So to overcome this thing, they have introduced a operator called Nalish-Kolyazin. According to this operator, so it's not going to consider zero, empty string, or these other things to be null or something falsy value. So according to this operator, only null. Okay, if the value is null or undefined. Okay, only these two values is falsy. Apart from all are true. Even zero is also true. You take it as a truthy, and empty string also you will take it as a truthy. Okay, only these null and undefined is an only falsy values. Okay, so the syntax for this one, so it's simple. Okay, so wherever you found double question mark in your code, so it's called nullish Kolyazin. So question mark, instead of or you are using question mark and question mark. Now see, it's an error, right? So we will fix this error. Const distance is equal to car dot kilometers question mark or 10. That's it. Now check the output of distance. It's 0 instead of 10 because the property exists. So kilometers property exists. Since it exists, so it's a 0. If it doesn't exist, undefined. See, if it's not exist, so undefined. Undefined is also false value nullish Kolyazin. So it will assign 10. But if it is exist, but if its value is also 0, so we will take into consideration 0 as a truthy value. Understood? Any doubts? Online? Are we good?
So,
So
so
tell me the difference between AND operator and OR operator.
And operator and OR operator.
OR operator.
Yesterday we discussed, right? On the last class, Friday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is OR operator does?
Sir, OR operator, if the false value is existed, next condition also it will check, sir. Up
Yes.
to true condition.
Yes.
But in OR operator, once it is false, it does not exist for second.
Yes. So why it's behaving so?
The difference only I am asking.
Yeah, this is the reason we'll see. So an OR operation. So it's an AND operation. Now tell me the table for this one. Go ahead.
0, sir. If both conditions are false, so it is 0.
Now
false.
Now
Zero.
also it is 0.
Zero, sir.
1, sir.
One.
okay. Now see, observe. So just by seeing this table only you can easily understand. So 0 means a falsy value. What are the falsy values available in JavaScript?
Undefined.
So if JavaScript sees these values in anywhere in my code, so it will take it as an false. Apart from this, all are true. Even empty array is also true. Empty object is also true. Everything is true. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Understood. Okay. Now we'll start evaluating from the just seeing this table. Okay. So if the output is false, sorry, if the first operand is false and second operand is also false, so what is the output?
It will take all false only.
Okay. So just think you're checking a values, okay, truth and false values in the OR operation, okay. So if you encounter a false value, so do we need to check the second one or not?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Yes, definitely. Why? Because by seeing the only if the condition second operand is true, the output becomes true. Because by seeing only the one first operand, I can't able to decide the output. Right? So that's the reason I'm going to check the second one also. If it is also true, so what is the so where does my pointer ends? Where what is the last value I've checked? Here
True
only.
value.
Second value. Okay, what is the output? So which one is going to take? First one or second one?
Second one.
Second one. That's it. But when it comes to AND operation, see observe, I am checking the first value, so it's a falsy. Since it is false, okay, so just think if you have a second value is also true, so does it alters the output or not?
It will answer, sir.
No. How come it alters? So see if you have a 0, okay, so and if the any one condition in AND operation is false, what is output is? False, right?
False.
So do you need to check the second one? See, first of all, you're getting a falsy value. So even the second value is true. Leave it this one. So come here. Okay. So I encountered a falsy value. Okay. I encountered a falsy value. So the second one is true. So even the second one is true. What is the output?
First value only it will take.
Let it be. So which one will take? We will discuss. But so first one is false, and the second one is true. So what is the output?
False only.
False only. Even the second value is true. Does it alters the output?
In our operator, it will take true only.
See, guys. Do not make a comparison. First thing, stop making comparison. Okay, stop making comparison. Try to understand the concept. Okay, so by seeing this table only, you can easily understand. See, the first one is falsy. Okay, since the first one is falsy, so by seeing this one, see, even the second one is true also. Second one is true also. So does it does it alters the output? Does it changes the output? No, right?
No.
No. Why? Because in AND operation, anyone is false, output is always false. So even so, or and so how many truth values you're going to put only in center one false value gets output is false. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay. So that's the thing. Okay. So in AND operation, if I encounter a first false value, definitely the JavaScript never will check the second one because it's already I got a false value. So
False
even the second one is true or false, it doesn't make any sense, right?
sir.
So it doesn't alter the output. Okay, that's the reason. So it returns the first false value, encounter false value immediately. Understood? But here,
Yes, sir.
so I encountered a false value, so the pointer stops here. So and it's also checks the second ones and pointer next step the pointer stops here. So both are false. Okay. Of course, the second one is also false. The output is false only. This false. The last checked value. Understood? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Understood. Okay. That's it. Any doubts? Okay. So sometimes we have to consider zeros and empty string also true. Understood? On that case, we were using nullish query as well. So double question mark. So there's nothing much difference, only the difference is that's it. Okay, so in normal short circuiting, 0, empty string, undefined, null and nan will take it as an false value, but when it comes to optional nullish aliasing, so only undefined and null are a false, remaining all are true. Understood? So that's it. We have fixed this bug, right? Next, okay, so in real time, so the data will coming like these things. So we called optional chaining. Optional chaining. The syntax for is like question mark dot. Okay, these are all ESC, the latest inclusion to the language. Okay, not in earlier old JavaScript. So we are not seeing these things. Okay, so these are all latest inclusion. But when it comes to real-time projects, so this really helps you a lot to write a better code. So we are using these things. Okay, so let's see, we're going to create an object. So just think this is a data which is coming from the backend. So this object contains a data of an hotel or a restaurant. So when is going to open and when is going to close, and which day is going to open, at what time, and which day is going to close. Okay, so this thing is so we have an object, the name of the restaurant, it's called Starbucks. Okay, the name of the restaurant is Starbucks. Like opening hours, Thursday. Okay, so in the Thursday we open, so open at 12 o'clock. So we were using 24 hours format. Okay, so and close at 22 means 10 o'clock, right? So opening hours. Next, Friday, so opening hours is 11, closing is 23. On Saturday, the opening hours is 0 means 12 o'clock only. So closing 24 entire the clock. Okay, so 24 hours it's opened. Okay, let's just think. So this is the data which is coming from the, but exactly the real time is exactly looks like these things. Okay, so we're going to get the data from the backend like exactly the same way. There's no difference. Okay, so that's the reason we have explained what do we call destructuring. So if you want to only access a particular property of an object, you are using destructuring, right? So maintain. So but sometimes we need to work with entire data also. On the time destructure we're not going to work with. So if you want to only pick one value, so we are using destructuring. So if you want to work with entire data, so we can directly work with regular methods like this. Now see, so I want to know here, so when does this hotel opens on Monday? Okay, first thing is this data contains Monday. Okay, so out of these 7 days, so it's contain only 3 days, remaining 4 data is missing. 4 days means data is missing because this hotel is not going to open on Monday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, Monday data doesn't exist. Now tell me how do you gonna fix this issue? So I want to print. Okay, I want to print. So what is the opening hours of Monday? Okay, now I'll check. I'll put in this condition old way. Restaurant dot opening hours dot Monday. Since the property doesn't exist, it returns what? It returns what? Undefined. Okay, now see, copy this one. Before putting the condition, I'll show what is the real issue here. So now what does it returns? Undefined. Perfect. Okay, I'm looking for a property called Monday. But so what if I check open also? So in the property, first of all, the property doesn't exist. Inside the undefined property, I'm looking for another property. What does it returns? It's an error. It's an error. Whenever JavaScript this error, so the remaining code with execution is going to stop. This is the issue, real issue. Okay, see. So it will throw an error. So once it's throw errors, whatever the line code we're going to return here, so those code will not going to execute. It will block your entire application. Okay, it will going to block your entire application. Okay, so that's the reason. So inside the undefined, you can't able to check the properties. First we need to check. So if the properties exist, then only we're going to check the open. If the property doesn't exist, you should not check these things. So how to avoid this such type of things? So you're using a if block, right? So first it is going to check is the restaurant opening hours object contains Monday or not. If it is contains Monday, so it returns undefined here. Okay, undefined is a false condition. If the condition is false, that is if block exists or not. It's not going to execute, right? So since it's not going to execute, so this code is not going to work. Okay, so it is going to stop it early. The condition is false, it's come out of this one if loop, and it will continue executing the remaining code, no issue. So this is an old way. When it comes to new way, what is the new way? We are using short circuiting, right? Using AND operation, right? We are using AND operation, short circuiting. Okay. Now, so instead of writing all these things, so we have one better way of implementation. See, first I will check if the Mondays exist. Okay, so if it is only exist, I am looking for open property inside the Monday. Okay, this works perfect, no issue. But we have a better implementation. Instead of doing this one, see, first I will going to check like these things. Okay, like this. What? I'm check restaurant property. Inside the restaurant property dot, I'm looking for what? Opening hours. Okay, so inside this opening hours, so instead of I'll check the Monday, I'll put a question mark dot. So is it opening hours contains Monday? Okay, so if the property returns true, then only it's going to check the next property. Okay, now see question mark dot, if it is exist, look for open, like these things. So basically, So it will check opening hours exist inside this restaurant object. Okay, until here no issue. So inside this restaurant object it's going to check opening hours. So inside this opening hours, so if it is find this operator, so question mark dot, so optional chaining. So inside this restaurant object it's going to look for Monday property exists or not. So if it is returns true, then only it's going to check open property. But if it returns false, it will stop immediately in this point of execution only. It will never ever execute the dot open. Understood? It's finds like these things. So it's exist. Yes. If it is exist, access open. Even if it's open exist, next property. Like you can put lot of option changes, no issue. Understood? So now tell me which one is better code? This one or this one? Option chaining is better code, right? Don't you should not repeat the same code again and again. So again, we no need to repeat the same thing again and again. Understood? No need to repeat it. Understood? So this how?
Sir,
Yeah.
excuse me, sir. Our operator go simple. So, our operator.
Or operator ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ?
Yes, sir. Our operator.
Yes. Or ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಸಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆರ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು. So we can able to do this thing. But we have better way of syntax, right? So better way of handling.